In the house of hunger, we don't listen to what is said. We listen to what is implied. That's what we listen to. They talk about Vision 2030 as if it's a Zimbabwean invention, a homegrown path to prosperity. But if you look at the platforms of the World Economic Forum, you'll see the same script. You'll see Professor Yuval Harari, the high priest of the globalists, laying out a world where humans are hackable animals.
To hack human beings.
Today, we peel back the skin of the 2030 narrative. We aren't just talking about term limits or political parties. We are talking about the supreme narrative. A world where Zimbabwe is being prepared not for upper middle income status, but for status as a digital colony. Let's talk about Professor Yuval Harari. To many, he's a genius. To us, he's a pundit for the Davos crowd. The globalists who want to manage humanity like a dataset. Harari's vision of 2030 isn't a prediction, it's a manifesto. When he talks about neural interfaces and shared virtual spaces, he is describing a world where your private thoughts are the final frontier for state and corporate control. If ZANU-PF is listening to this global frequency, their attempt to change the constitution is just the analog half of the plan. Look at the constitutional amendments, the ED2030 push. This is a survival reflex. It's an attempt to uncompress time. By legally mandating their presence in 2030, the regime is trying to force the future to wait for them. They are trying to lock a door while the walls are already turning into mist. But the regime doesn't have the tech to do this alone. Enter the all-weather friend. While the globalists provide the theory, China provides the hardware. We are seeing the birth of a digital colony. The National Data Center, built by China. Facial recognition, trained on Zimbabwean faces to master the dark complexion algorithm. Smart cities being piloted in places like Mutare, not to make your life easier, but to make your movements legible to a machine. When we talk about hacking the people, we aren't being metaphorical. We are trading our biometric sovereignty for the regime's survival. They are building a digital fence around the nation, powered by Chinese AI, to ensure that the acceleration of the world doesn't leave them behind. Why the push to change the laws now? Because the ancient regimes like ZANU-PF know they are brittle. They are terrified of the compression of time. They see a youth population that is mentally living in 2030 while the leadership is stuck in 1980. Their only hope is to anchor you in a digital cage. Dambudzo Marechera wrote that the house of hunger is a world divided between prisoners and their jailers. But what happens when the jailers are still using iron keys, but the prisoners have learned to turn into data and slip through the bars? The regime isn't just fighting the opposition. They are fighting the speed of evolution. They are trying to stay static in a world that has become fluid. If They can control your internet, your social credit via mobile money, and eventually your very thoughts via these neural interfaces that Yuval always talks about. Then the Constitution really doesn't matter. They don't need to win an election. They will simply debug the dissent. The supreme narrative of 2030 is about who owns the human operating system. Is it the global pundits in Davos? Is it the hardware giants in Beijing? Or is it the people? ZANU-PF believes they can survive by becoming the local landlords of a global digital colony. But they forget one thing about the House of Hunger. Hunger makes you sharp. It makes you see the wires. Identify the wires. This is House of Hunger. See you soon.
What's coming there?
Technology. See, what we see today is just the taking off of it. It's still coming. Technology is going to replace human beings.